Don't just live for tomorrow, or just live in yesterday. Just be glad for all you have that's in today.
Hey everyone, Connie here, and welcome to my blind reaction to One Piece episodes 950 to 953. So last time we liberated the prison and everything. Pretty much everything's finished up there. Queen is taking Big Mom to Kaido, and more importantly, Okiku has been revealed to be one of the two transgender characters confirmed in this series. As I said last time, I did know ahead of time about that. I was spoiled on that, which really does kind of suck. I really wish I didn't know about that ahead of time, but I did. I didn't know who they were going to be or anything, but I just knew that they existed. I went into all that detail last time. But Okiku, it's like we got to see her in action as like with the mask and everything and her full on samurai action. Not really a form, I was gonna say form, but just persona, I guess. I don't know. But we got to see her in action. We got to see the Kappa dude, whose name I cannot remember right now, in action. All of that fun stuff. And yeah, it's just, where are we going to go now? What are we going to do now? I'm definitely excited to find out, and I definitely want more Okiku. Because I've been thinking about things and everything after I recorded the last one, and honestly, if I'm just being honest, like I said in the last reaction, it's just I've grown to like her character more and more, and at this point, she is easily becoming one of my favorites of the arc. And if she continues to be handled as well as she is, and continues to be just a really great character as this arc continues, I'm just really going to love her even more and more. um, so yeah. Honestly, I'm just really hype about it and everything. I've grown more and more excited um, after the fact, and I just really can't wait to see what they do with her. Like, I love so many characters in this series, and I just really hope that she ends up becoming one of my all-time favorites. So along with the likes of Robin and Carrot and whatnot, and Zoro, I would love for her to reach those kind of ranks for me. So, that being said, I'm just really excited to get into more of this, so we're going to do so. When the screen fades to black, pause this redirect and go to the description below. Follow the link to the reaction, and after you watch it, come back here to the redirect and resume play. Because after it fades to black and fades back in, everything from that point forward will be my afterthoughts, and will contain spoilers to the episodes. So, that being said, thank you so much for tuning in, and I will see you at the reaction. And we are back, and we'll begin with spoilers in 3, 2, 1, now. So, quite a few things happened. The liberation of Udon, just kind of like, we had the aftermath and everything. The people there, the prisoners, didn't trust Luffy because he's also a pirate, and, you know, they're not going to just trust pirates right now, I mean, which is fair. So Momo had to step up and give them the hope they needed, as well as the reason to be able to trust him. And he did. Although he was scared and he wasn't sure he could do it at first, he did stand up and gave a rousing speech to encourage them. And yeah, it's pretty awesome. It's like, when you first meet Momo, you never think it's going to come to this point. But it's such a big deal and an awesome moment to see how it has. So I really love and appreciate that. Hiyori and Zoro continue their trek. They're being chased by the ninjas. Zoro manages to defeat them. And then they decide to head back to where they were before, amongst the snow. When they get there, Zoro challenges the monk again, and they fight with Zoro taking control at first, but the monk seemingly starting to make a comeback until Kawamatsu arrives, having come from the prison camp. He gets involved and has a sweet reunion with Hiyori, which, like, we found out more information about. We found out that back 20 years ago, she had left him because he was giving all the food they got to her, and she didn't like that. She wanted him to be able to eat too. She didn't want him to starve to death for her sake. So she left. She ran from him, believing that it would help him, and in the end it caused him to just get, like, really scared of where she could have gone and try to find her constantly, and it didn't help matters. But of course he forgives her, and of course he understands, and he's thankful to her for being so kind and caring about him. But yeah, it's like undeniable. Oh, excuse me. It's undeniable that he was worried there, and what she did, like, definitely concerned him, and that's completely fair. I mean, he was taking care of her. He was trying to keep her safe, and she just ran away. It's like, that's kind of a big problem, and I understand. Um, we also see Ashura Doji fully return to his side, return to the side of Kinemon and Dogstorm in the name of Kozuki Oden. And yeah, we could tell this was about to happen. It was super obviously about to go down. But it's still cool to see, and it's cool to see how, like, just how much these three are getting back into working together and everything. They're getting these plans made, getting everything figured out. They have ships, they have knowledge on what they need to do next, getting the swords and the spears and all. So everything is going really well. Luffy's continuing to learn Ryu Haki. Robin and Usopp are continuing to head to their location, pretending to be haunted by Brook, which is like, what the fuck was that scene? A lot of good stuff in these episodes. But the thing is, if I'm not mistaken, let me check here just to be sure, because I have it listed down here because of Totally Not Mark's review videos. Yeah, Act 2 ends with episode 956. So that means that the next video, our next reaction, is going to end Act 2. And so it looks like there's no big fight for our heroes going on here. It mostly looks like the big fight right now we have is Kaido versus Big Mom. Because after arriving on the island, Big Mom was still chained up and everything. She was given some food to eat, but being watched over and everything. Kaido ordered her release, and they started fighting. And that seems like the only big thing. They seem evenly matched, though. So I don't know how that's going to end. But yeah, at this point, I don't think that for our heroes there's going to be any other fight going on. So I think it's mostly going to be just kind of in the same way that Act 1 ended off very poorly for our heroes, with everything kind of going to shit because of Kaido just wrecking everyone's shit. Act 2 is actually ending off in a much better way for our heroes, while the villains are actually fighting with each other. So I kind of like that, though. I like that the first two acts end off in opposing ways. It helps make them feel so much different, which they already did, mind you, but even more so. Um, and I'm wondering what role Kid and Killer are going to have going forward because we saw them escape. They're not willing to work with Luffy because they don't want to forge any more alliances after what happened, which completely fair after everything that's happened, especially with Killer having been smiled. It's like I do not blame Kid for making that decision. And Law is now in prison as well, because he wanted to get his crew out, and that's the only way he could really do it. The only way that Basil Hawkins would agree to it. So it's like there's some bad things happening, admittedly, but for the most part, it is going in a more positive direction. Things are starting to get better for our heroes. And I think that's the big takeaway for this at the end of this act. Things are starting to get better, but it's not over yet. There's still plenty more to go. Um, I believe I might be wrong about this. If I'm wrong, please feel free to correct me. But I believe in Totally Not Mark's video on Act One, I believe he mentioned that Kabuki plays, which the act structure of Wano is based off of, have 5 acts. I think it's 5 acts, rather than like the commonly noticed 3 act structure of like movies and games and whatnot here in the West. Um, but I'm wondering if Wano is going to as well, because Act 3 is currently going, and to my knowledge, that's in both the manga and the anime. So the manga is still in Act 3 as well. I don't know what's to come, but if it is 5 acts, that means we still got a long way to go. But if they ended at Act 3, that means it is getting semi close to the end of the act. Or to the end of the arc, rather. I don't know how long Act 3 is going to be, but I'm not sure. Because they're getting close to the raid on Onigashima. That much is clear. There's only a matter of days left, like right around a week. So that's going to be happening soon, but I don't think that's going to be the end. I don't think that's going to be the end at all. And I don't think that's going to actually happen before Act 2 ends. I do not even begin to believe that. Because there's only 3 more episodes of Act 2. So they're definitely not getting to the actual raid on Onigashima yet. But considering there's only a short amount of time left, that means that it would have to happen either early in Act 3, or Act 3 is just going to be stretched out like amongst like that week, and it's going to be just like a lot of events happening in a generally short period of time, which could be possible. It's possible. We'll have to see. I'm definitely very excited to see what happens next, though. This ended with the monk happy about Kawamatsu's return, in tears over it, but also running away. So, what is going to be the deal with that? Is he going to get something for Kawamatsu, like a sword or something? Or maybe this has something to do with Shusui still, but I don't know. I feel that one is less likely. But so far, I definitely think I am firm in the belief that Wano has become my favorite arc of the series. And I mean that could change. For all I know, Act 3 might end up not being that great, and it might turn that back down a little for me. But for the moment at least, it has definitely become my favorite arc. And honestly, I don't think that Act 3 is going to be bad at all. I think it's going to be very, very good, but we'll have to see. We'll have to see. I'm just really excited for what we have next. So hopefully it all turns out well. And we're going to be caught up soon with the episodes too. So we're going to be starting reacting like an episode a week and all. So that's going to be insane. But either way, tell me in the comments below what you thought of these episodes of One Piece, and thank you so much for tuning in. For now, I'm Connie, and I'm signing off. See y'all next time.